Good morning. We'll start with a meditation. Be comfortable. Close your eyes. Breathe with the music. Try to make the breathing as shallow as possible. Breathe in the rhythm. Breathe in the rhythm. The shallower the breathing, the subtler the breathing, the more the carbon dioxide will concentrate in the blood. We'll first move through the body. Relax the two legs. Start with the right leg and relax the leg from the toes to the thigh. Move your attention through the right leg and relax it from the toes to the thigh. Similarly, take your attention in the left leg and relax it from the toes to the thigh. See both the legs together. Take your attention to the navel and relax the abdomen below the navel, especially the perineum area. Relax the perineum area. Move your attention above the navel and relax the stomach above the navel. Put more attention on the solar plexus and relax the solar plexus area. Try to connect the solar plexus with the perineum. Move to the back, relax the back. Move the attention up and down the back, right side, left side. Move the attention through the backbone. Relax each disc, each vertebra. Feel the whole of the back touching the chair. We'll go to the two hands. Relax the right hand from the fingers to the shoulder. Move your attention through the right hand. Similarly, move your attention through the left hand from the fingers to the shoulder. Relax both the hands together. Take your attention to the shoulders. Relax the right shoulder. Go deep into the shoulder and relax the right shoulder. There's a lot of tension in the shoulders. Relax the left shoulder. Both the shoulders together. Relax the neck. Loosen the jawbone, let the jawbone drop. Relax the chin. The two lips, the lower lip, the upper lip, both the lips together. Relax the muscles of the tongue. The top of the mouth, the palate. Connect the top of the mouth, the palate, to the solar plexus, to the perineum. Sense a meridian, a line connecting the three of them. Relax the cheek, right cheek, left cheek, both the cheeks. The two nostrils, right, left. The back of the head. The top of the head. The forehead. Relax the forehead. Relax the two eyes, right eye, left eye. There's a lot of tension around the eyes. There are small muscles around the eyes. Relax those small muscles. Go around the eyes. Move your attention through the body one more time. If there's any place you see tension, look at it and relax it. Now, from the physical body, we want to enter the subtle body. We'll use a key. Visualize yourself floating on the water. In the middle of the ocean, you're floating on water, nothing around you. Just the sea supporting you. the sensitivity of the water, feeling the waves floating up and down. Keep breathing in rhythm. Make the breathing as subtle, as shallow as possible. You're just floating on water. Normally, earth supports, now water is supporting you. Now within the body, feel a subtle body. In the length of the body, it's more like water. Sense it falling up and down like the waves. It goes out, it comes in. Feel this subtle body. Hold the subtle body, feel it. This is the Pranamaya Kosh. From the physical, the Annamaya Kosh, we are now going higher, deeper into the Pranamaya Kosh. Please relax your throat so you don't have to cough. From inside, consciously relax your throat. Expand this body, then contract this body. If you can't sense it, visualize it. Within the body, there is a subtle body like water. Now lengthwise, rotate this body very slowly with each breath, one rotation, anti-clockwise. Rotate it anti-clockwise. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. Feel it, rotate it. Now we'll try to go a little deeper, higher. From the Pranamaya Kosh to the Manomaya Kosh, the astral body. Take your attention behind the two eyebrows, and from inside your head, look at your forehead. The forehead is the screen of the mind. It is the screen of the internal theatre. Look at the screen. Thoughts will come. Feelings will come. But they won't be verbal, they will be images. They will be forms. Just see the screen of the mind, observe the screen of the mind. If nothing comes, create something. Remember something of long ago, bring it out of memory. Some old grandfather, grandmother, some form. And let the story start on the screen of the mind and observe the story. It is the dream. You are entering the dream world. Images, forms, animal-like images, different archetypes. Keep watching. Now the subtle body which you have created, which you felt, let it penetrate into the dream. Feel yourself in the dream, as if you're playing a computer game and you are in the computer game. You are now in the dream. From outside you're observing the dream, and inside you're enjoying the dream. There are two eyes. One stable, watching, looking, and one experiencing within the dream. Create the dream and enter the dream. This is the astral world. Hold the dream. Enjoy the feeling of two eyes. One liquid in the dream, it keeps on changing form. And one observing outside the dream, totally still, totally stable. Now slowly allow all the images on the screen of the mind to subside. Let them dissolve into the background. Let them dissolve into the screen. The images will dissolve, but the material of the images remains. And when observation falls upon it, it reflects the light. Feel the whole astral body full of light, the whole Manomay Kosh full of light. Enjoy the light, bathe in the light. Now we'll try to move higher. Keep watching the screen for some time. The empty screen, just full of light, the light of the projector, the light of attention. We'll go a little higher from here. And we'll move. To move higher, we'll visualize a sunset. We're sitting on the sand, watching the sun set into the sea. Feel the touch of the sand. Feel the wetness of the waves. The cool breeze is touching your body. Slowly the sun sets into the sea. The sky is filled with red colors. Birds are coming home after a whole day of activity. Slowly the sun sets. And darkness sets in. Visualize absolute darkness. You are now in the Vijnanmay and Anandmay Kosh, in the mental body. Total darkness. But when the light of attention falls upon that darkness, a strange luminosity, a strange glow, as if the glow of twilight, Sandhya. In that darkness, there's a strange glow, a mysterious glow. Look at that darkness through the glow. In that darkness, there are different shades of darkness, waves of darkness rising and falling, meeting and separating. going down and going up. One wave pushing the other, one wave overpowering the other. See the different waves of darkness. This is the background of existence. Everything begins here, everything ends here. This is the ultimate background of existence. Everything starts as a seed over here. So many times the universe has come out and again dissolved into this darkness. Experience that darkness. Hold that darkness. And in that darkness you are throwing the light of attention. Feel the presence throwing the light of attention. There is presence and there is darkness. Hold the presence, hold the darkness. We'll observe this darkness for 2 minutes. If thoughts come, feelings come, just look at them and drop them. Just, if you can't observe and thoughts are coming and disturbing you, make an effort to dissolve in the darkness. Nothing remains. Make that effort to dissolve in the darkness. Hold the darkness for some more time. Feel your presence in the darkness. You're in an empty ocean of darkness, waves all around, and you're just looking and dissolving. We will slowly come back. To come back, take a few deep breaths. Feel your body as if you're coming back in the body. Hold the feeling of the body. Stretch your fingers and toes a little. Stretch the fingers and toes a little. Again, take a few deep breaths. Slowly open your eyes and come back. So, this meditation we will do again in the evening. So, in the evening, we'll do it lying down. So, you can take the towels and mats at the back over here. So, just arrange it so that you have enough space to lie down. Right? So, the first thing we'll talk about today, that how does the mind manufacture experience? What goes into the making of a thought? What is the process that goes into the making of a thought? So every experience begins with what Mr. Tavaria calls an incoming impulse, right? Later on, we'll go into the depth of what is an incoming impulse. It is a subtle vibrations which enter the mind field. They come from life. I am looking at her, so when my attention falls upon her, she is broken down into many impulses. Right? She's already vibrating at those impulses in her are already vibrating. The Hindu Shastra calls these vibrating atoms, right, as tanmatra, as tanmatra. So each object, each person, every vishay which we see through the five senses or experience through the five senses is composed of small atoms called tanmatra. These are like dots. These are like dots. And they are very, very stable. They occupy no place. They have no direction. But they are vibrating packets of energy. They're vibrating packets of energy. Now, when attention falls on an object, any object, living or non-living, these small atoms which go to comprise that person, which make up that object, they, from a particle form, from a dot form, they take on a wave form. Suddenly they get direction. Suddenly they start funneling through the five senses. So from a tanmatra, when Mr. Tavaria starts his science, he's talking about an incoming impulse. And that incoming impulse is not exactly the tanmatra, even though we call it the tanmatra. It is the atom which was there has now become a wave. Now become a wave. These particles which become waves, they get a direction and they move through the five senses. And these incoming impulses, they start their journey in two nadis called Ida and Pingla. if you're finding it difficult, ask me questions on the way. Right? I'm trying to explain Mr. Tavaria's basic science, which is very, very deep. Now, what comes in, right? It doesn't come in, all the waves do not come in. They are invited inside. There is an astral brain inside which goes out, takes those particles and comes back inside. Right? So, how do they come in? So, Mr. Tavaria says all of us have a structure of acceptance. And I will look at her, but I'll only be able to take in what my structure of acceptance accepts. Can you understand what I'm trying to say? Right? And those particles will travel up the two nadis and they come here to a place which is called as taluka, he calls it in his... and they meet something called memory patterns. Even though these particles which come in are neutral, right? But my structure may not allow me to take vibrations of a higher quality. It may stop vibrations of a lower quality, right? But even after that, these particles are neutral in the sense they've not yet been colored. And when it comes in, it encounters a storehouse of memory patterns. We'll go deeper into what is a memory pattern later on. Is it okay? Yeah? Or you're finding it difficult if they're finding it difficult? How do the incoming impulses and the memory patterns meet? Now, try to understand that she may be a very intelligent person, but my structure of acceptance, it blocks the intelligence part, right? My structure of acceptance only sees that maybe she's 40 years old or whatever. Can you understand what I'm trying to say? Right? So, what comes in comes according to the invitation of our structure of acceptance. I'll give you an example. Huh? So, what do you say? Right here.
In आज्ञा चक्र से के अंदर इनकमिंग इम्पल्सिस और ये
नहीं
मनस द्वारा गुजराती में बोलूं.
Thank you.
મને જેટલું સમજાયું છે એટલા એ પ્રમાણે કહું છું કે આજ્ઞાચક્ર દ્વારા સત્વ રજસ તમસ આપણામાં જેટલું હોય એના પ્રમાણમાં આપણે બીજાના વિચારોને લઈએ છીએ અને આપણા વિચારો એના તરફ જાય છે. તો એ કાર્ય બધું મનસ દ્વારા ઇમ્પલ્સિસ અંદર આવે અને મનસ દ્વારા એની સમજે છે, મનસ દ્વારા સમજાય છે. જો
થોડા કન્ફ્યુઝડ છો તમે. There's lot of confusion, right? And this is the problem with Mr. Tavaria's science. It confuses more than clarity. It is a wave of confusion, right? See, we have two kinds of memory. Which are the two kinds of memory? Let them answer. It's their camp. Let them answer. Which are the two kinds of memory? Deep and shallow. What is deep memory and what is shallow memory? What is... No, this is their camp, Bombay people's camp. So we give them the first chance. Second chance is ours, right? We give them the first chance to answer, right? Anyone in the Bombay. Why don't you all come in front? You're sitting behind as if, so you don't want to me to see your beautiful faces, right? Huh? Yeah, but they're all sitting at the back. How many kinds of memory do we have? They don't know Mr. Tavaria's system on it. So how many types of memory are there? Deep and shallow. Deep and shallow. Right. What is deep memory and what is shallow memory? What is deep memory and what is shallow memory? Yeah. I remember your name Bhagwati is from which memory? Which memory is that? Shallow memory. Shallow memory. So, shallow memory is memory of events of life. It is the memory of events of life.
Surface level.
Huh?
Surface level.
The shallow memory. What is the deep memory? What is the deep memory?
Which remained ingrained in our system.
It is, let us say that I see you and I say this is Bhagwati. It is which memory?
Shallow memory.
Shallow memory. But I see you and I get irritated. Which memory is that?
Deep memory.
Deep memory. Deep memory.
It carries past.
Right. So how is this deep memory created? તમે સમજવાની કોશિશ કરજો. How is this deep memory created?
Repeated patterns.
The deep memory does not remember Bhagwati. I get irritated upon you that after the irritation is over, that experience of irritation leaves a scar on the stuff of the mind, which Tavaria Sahib calls as mind stuff, the chitta. Right? It leaves a scar. This is a subliminal scar. It is in the unconscious, the subconscious mind. Right? So it leaves a pattern, it leaves a residue over there. This is clear to everyone, yeah, right?
He calls it the groove.
The groove. The groove, right. Now, what happens? I see her and I get irritated again. What happens? What happens? The groove becomes deeper
Deeper.
in your language. The groove becomes, it's like I make a line on the sand, one irritation, I get irritated again, the same line goes.
Deeper.
I don't have to get irritated upon Bhagavati. I can get irritated on anything. Even if the tea is cold, I can get irritated. Can you understand? Right? What what does it mean that in that moment of my life, I am living the irritation? I'm giving myself the impression of irritation. I'm giving myself the impression of, I'm not getting irritated upon him, even though we think he is the cause of my irritation. I think the cold tea is the cause of my irritation. Okay, let's try this in another way. Let's try this in another way. Is this little clear? Let's try this in another way. Every thing in life is born of three causes. Is born of, right? These are the instrumental cause, the material cause, and the real cause. The real cause. Today we won't talk about the real cause. It's far away in some other mind. In some other mind. Right? Now, I got irritated upon Bhagavati. What is the instrumental cause and the material cause? What is the instrumental cause and what is the material cause? I blame him that he made me irritated. He made me irritated. What is the instrumental cause and the material cause? Come on. The instrumental cause is him, right? The material called irritation was lying within me from the beginning. That is called sanskar. The material called irritation was already lying within me. He just allowed it to come from the subconscious mind into my behavior, into the conscious mind, into my behavior.
For people to get it internally, to get it inside, and to have it stay, we can use the words themselves. Instrumental cause being instrument. So what was the instrument? Bhagavati appears to be the instrument.
The cause which comes from outside.
So then the word will be able to, they
Yeah,
can stick.
which comes from outside. Right? In Hindu Shastra, it is called nimit. It is called nimit. Nimitkar. Right? It is called the nimit. The material cause lies within us. Each moment of life, the events of life are all instrumental causes. Right? But I'll blame him. Am I seeing the real cause or am I, what do you call, blind to the real cause? I'm blind to the real cause. Whenever I put the blame of anything on anyone or any event in life, I'm always blind to the real cause, which is the material cause. Which is the material cause. Right? So in the Shastra, they have a very simple example in the Hindu Shastra, and they say that there is a potter and there's clay, which is the material cause. The clay is the material out of which a pot is. The instrumental cause is the potter, the manas over here, what she was talking about. The manas is the instrumental cause. It creates the thought inside. Can you get it? Now, yeah.
So, with that, that means when we say that I get irritated because of this person. So I got happy because of this person. Again, it's the flip side of that, right? Again, there's a material and an instrumental at play, isn't it?
Yeah, but the
And the real is somewhere else. And the real cause is
yeah, we are
in-
not talking about the real cause. The real cause lies in a higher mind. The real cause lies in a
Right.
higher mind,
Right.
right?
Right.
It is the whole universe is moving into some a higher state of consciousness. That is the real cause for everything,
Right.
right? So that does not apply to us right at the moment.
Okay.
It does apply in the sense, it does apply in the sense that when I get irritated, I have thrown out the thought of irritation. Will that thought of irritation help nature to move to a higher state of consciousness, or will it pull nature down? Pull nature down. Can you see?
I do.
Right? So nature wants to reach, the moon wants to reach to a higher state of consciousness, the earth wants to reach to a higher state of consciousness, the suns want to reach to a higher state of consciousness, and all of that depends upon my thinking. So the real cause lies somewhere else. Won't go into it. Can you understand?
Right, I do. So I was just thinking about the flip side of that you said about irritation. So the same thing applies to something, to now use a very rudimentary word, something more positive. So if this person makes me happy, or I am so excited to see you, or your presence delights me, so isn't this also at play over there? It is, right?
If we are clear upon what our happiness depends,
You lost me. It depends on what our happiness.
no, you said this person makes me happy.
Like, this person is the cause of my irritation, this person is the cause of my happiness.
Yeah.
It's the same thing, right?
In a way, it's the same thing. I'm just trying to tell you that that is not happiness.
I hear you.
Can you understand what I'm
Yes.
trying to say?
Yeah.
It is the pattern of slavery. If a person can make me happy, happiness is already lying within me. It is my true nature. It is not a sanskar. Can you get it?
Yeah.
But if somebody makes me happy, he is the instrumental cause in the mind pausing a little and happiness descending into the mind. Nobody can make me happy. Can you understand? If my happiness depends on another person, then it's slavery. I'm dependent for my happiness on outside events. If I get a new car, I'm happy. Right? If the old car is there, I'm unhappy. Right? If the husband listens to me, I'm happy. Right?
I don't know what that is. Okay.
She's talking about you in this case.
No, she's not.
She's telling the real thing. She has never experienced happiness from the husband.
Being you. तो बोलो ना.
He knows that. Okay.
Can you get it?
I do.
So as long as happiness is dependent upon something happening in my life, is it happiness or slavery?
So isn't irritation slavery too? Why
It is a pattern of rag dvesh, attraction, repulsion, possession, right? Can you get it? It is just a pattern of rag dvesh. Real happiness has no instrumental cause. It is in spite of the instrumental cause.
Yes.
Can
Yes.
you understand?
Yeah.
And that is something all of us have to find
Within.
within.
Yeah.
Real happiness.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
It has nothing to do with external events. Nothing to do with external events. Right?
Thank you.
Okay, now, over, say, thousands of years, how many patterns have formed on the, what do you call, on the mind stuff? on the mind stuff. How many patterns? All this is our deep memory. All this is our deep memory. Can you understand? It is not memory of events, it is experiential memory. Now, all those thousands of patterns, whatever we want to call them, will they have a resultant? Will they have a resultant? Those patterns are structured in what Mr. Tavaria calls tamas, rajas and sattva. We don't want to go into that just now. We'll talk about it a little later on as we understand this. But they are packets, triads of energy containing active energy, passive energy and intelligence energy. They are packets of energy containing three types of energies: active, passive and intelligence. And there's a ratio. There's a ratio, right? I only see the form. I only look at her and I see the form. So the form is passive energy. Either I like her or I dislike her, right? That is active energy, rajas. Can you understand what I'm trying to say? Either I like her or I dislike her. Each moment we are living in, like and dislike. Now is it getting a little clear? And maybe there's a little bit of intelligence that behind the form there is something which I cannot understand, or I just say I like her or I dislike her. There's hardly any intelligence, but there has to be a little bit of intelligence to make the triad, right? We live our whole life in likes and dislikes, right? Whole life and life. Now, there are thousands of patterns. There are thousands of patterns. Some will have more intelligence energy, some will have less intelligence energy. So we'll just give a name. Intelligence is rajas. He's already given the name over here. He's one step ahead of me. Right? One step ahead. Right? Okay. Intelligence is sattva, sorry. Emotion, what do you call? Like, dislike is rajas. And what do you call the form of the pattern, the magnetic form of the pattern, right, is what we call tamas, the form, the outer shape of the pattern, the lines which go to make the geometry of the pattern. So anger will have a certain geometry, jealousy will have a certain geometry, happiness, what she calls happiness, will have a certain geometry, right? And all these are lying in my deep memory. All these are lying in my deep memory. Now, Mr. Tavaria is saying is that what you see is according to your structure. What you see is, and this structure has a spectrum. This structure has a spectrum. See, when Mr. Tavaria used to see, it is because we have not been with him. It is unimaginable to understand the way he saw. The way he saw. His spectrum was huge. Right? I mean, the way he could see through even 100 years was, right? And it would be like he could just see it so clearly that, okay, this baby is in this state, but if the baby passes through this date 4 days from now, if he passes, then he will live his life. Otherwise, he won't live his life. like that. I have lots of stories of Mr. Tavaria. So, there was once one person who used to come to Bhagwan in Madhavpur, right? And he was also a Gujarati author. Gujarati author. And he came to Mumbai specially to meet Mr. Tavaria. So he was staying at his daughter's house in Mumbai. His daughter was married and staying in Mumbai. And then he phoned that I'd like to meet you. So he said, phone me next Thursday. So then next Thursday he phones again and he says that phone me next Thursday. The next Thursday he phones again. He says, phone me next Thursday. So then he phoned up Bhagwan in Madhavpur and he said, this is what is happening. I'm staying at my daughter's house. We don't stay at our daughter. In Gujarati, we don't stay at our daughter's house, right? So we don't stay at our daughter's house. How long can I stay in Mumbai, right? So Bhagwan said, you do one thing, phone up Rajan, right? So he phoned me and said, this is the problem. So I said that do one thing. There is a Irani restaurant downstairs it was called Star of Asia, where in those days, if you gave 8 annas, they allowed you to use the phone. There were no mobile phones in those days. So you give 8 annas in an Irani restaurant, and later it became 1 rupee, right? But so they allow you to use the phone. I said, in the afternoon, I'm there from 2 to 5, right? You phone, and I'll rush to the phone so that he does not pick up the phone, right? And I'll say that he's just downstairs. Why don't you allow him to come upstairs? So the phone rang in the afternoon. I picked up the phone. He's telling me, tell him to come upstairs. Tell him to come upstairs. Right? Right? So he had a big structure of acceptance, where the sattva would have been more, the intelligence, the perception, the light would have been more. So these patterns, now say there are 1,000 patterns lying in the unconscious mind, right? And so all the sattva will add up to sattva, all the rajas will add up to rajas, and all the tamas will add up to tamas. And between them, they will form one structure. One structure, right? That structure will have a high and a low. That's so much of sattva it can take, so much of rajas it can take, so much of tamas it can take. This he called as structure of acceptance. This he called as structure. Now you get it what I'm trying to say. So if my spectrum is so much, so when I look at her, only those tanmatras will come in, only those incoming impulses will come in which my spectrum can invite. If higher levels come, they cannot, because I don't have the, right? In Gurdjieff, we call this spectrum as level of being. Level of being. Can you understand what I'm trying to say? એટલે બહારથી જે ઇનકમિંગ ઇમ્પલ્સીસ અંદર આવે છે સ્પેક્ટ્રમ પ્રમાણે આવે છે. મનસને એમાં હજી કંઈ મનસ એને લઈને અંદર આવે છે, પણ મનસનું બીજું હજી કાર્ય હજી ચાલુ નથી થયું અહીંયા, રાઈટ? એ સ્પેક્ટ્રમ પ્રમાણે આવે છે. Is this clear to everyone, right? Now, those memory patterns, when they get stored, right? They are stored with something else. Something else. Now, he has given a name to these patterns as identical memory patterns, soaked in emotion, if you put his whole sentence. Identical memory patterns soaked in emotion. So, these sanskars which are lying here, right, when they create that pattern, when they create that pattern, there is some energy which gets locked in that pattern. Which energy is that? Which energy is that? Sex energy. Sex energy. I won't use the word sex energy, I'll use the word desire energy. Right? So, Bhagwati irritated me. Bhagwati irritated me. What is the desire over here? What is the desire over here? It's automatic, it's all mechanical. What is the desire over here? Maybe revenge, or I don't want to see Bhagwati again. Attraction, repulsion. Right? So, when that pattern is recorded on the, what do you call, basic mind stuff, the chitta, right? When that pattern is recorded, it is recorded with the energy of desire, kama. It is recorded with the energy of desire. This energy of desire in yoga has a name. What is it called? Come on, very easy. Very, very easy. Energy of desire. What is it called in yoga? Hatha yoga. Kundalini. Kundalini. Can you see? Right? What is the meaning of Kundalini rising? That we have observed the pattern, we have paused the pattern is dissolved, and the energy in the pattern rises up the backbone, and it is called Kundalini. Can you understand what I'm trying to say? So each pattern, right, is recorded, or it forms a pattern, a groove on the mind stuff, right, the substance of the mind, and it locks in with desire energy, right? So we have tamas, rajas, and sattva, each one with desire energy. Now, we'll take tamas as form, rajas as attraction, repulsion, and sattva as understanding. Just we'll take it in this way. Yeah. We have to speak in the mic.
Could you explain a bit about the level of being? I mean, is it something you're born with, or like Mr. T was born with it, or you acquire it? Or people are of different levels of being?
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Now this is digressing. Well, I'll take your question. Take your question. What happens at the moment? We'll just keep this an open discussion. We'll go in the background will be the subject matter. Huh? But we'll leave it to your group. They can ask whatever they want. Right? Huh? Everyone. He has allowed everyone to ask. You can, he has allowed everyone to ask questions. Right? Mr. Tavaria used to say કે હું ગધેડો છું. Okay. So you're asking when a person is born. Was that your question?
No, explain this level of being. No? Is it something you're born with, or you acquire it, or it's people
Simple.
have different?
Simple thing. Right? Now, we take the same example. Now, my level of being is a spectrum. Right? So you take spectrum as a ladder with different rungs on the ladder, different what you call steps on the ladder. Right? It goes in the clouds, and beyond the clouds is consciousness. Right? So this is being. This is being. Now I meet him and I get irritating. I don't want to meet you. On the ladder of my being, am I at a lower point or am I at a higher point? Lower point. I've reacted to him. But I feel irritation inside and I pause the irritation. I bring in consciousness and I say, hello Bhagavati, please come and sit down. Have I moved from a lower level of being to a higher level of being?
Yes.
Can you understand? Yeah. Right? So, each moment this level of being is there. The being is there. The ladder is there. It is my choice. If I react to life every moment, then am I living at a lower level or am I living at a higher level? Can you get it? Now, the more I live at a higher level, will my structure change? Will the lower start fading out and something higher come? You're getting it? Yeah. Right? So, when we are born with tendencies. Those tendencies have not yet formed the personality. They have not yet become an actuality. Out of all those tendencies, some tendencies will become an actuality. And that will be my personality. That will be my personality. The rest of the tendencies are lying there, but they've not got proper, what you call, water to grow. They've not got proper nourishment to grow. Right? So, when I die, all these patterns will again move into what is called tendencies. Will move into tendencies. And those tendencies are carried forward. Right? Does it answer the question? Right? You can still ask.
Depends on how much work you put in this lifetime. How much work you put in.
How much it is. I'm going to take it in another way. What is the aim of life? What is the aim of life? Supposing in the old days there was the Alaska gold rush and the California gold rush. You must have read about them. And so many Western movies are on the California, beautiful movies on the California gold rush. Right? Yeah, you've seen them, yeah? Right, okay. I've seen lots of them. Right. Okay. So, what is the aim? The person goes and stakes a claim. And then what does he do? The river is flowing and he takes his thing and he looks for gold through the sand. He looks for gold through the sand. Right? So gold is mixed with sand. Gold is mixed with sand. His aim is to separate the gold from sand. This is clear, very easy. Very easy. Similarly, the aim of life is to separate gold and sand. Right? The more gold your level of being goes higher. The more sand you accumulate, right? You may even lose the gold you have in the sand. So what is the gold and what is the sand? That is the aim of life, to go to a river, sit with a what you call pan, take the sand and run it, and what do they call it? Sieve it through the river, right? Every soul before taking birth says, in this birth I'm going to gather gold. Then when he takes birth, he forgets that he has to gather gold, and he gathers all kinds of things, houses and buildings and property and what do you call girlfriends, right? Right? He gathers, right? But he doesn't gather the gold. Doesn't gather the gold. What is the gold and what is the sand? Simple question, very simple question. Simple question. The gold is consciousness. The gold is consciousness. The sand is functions. Four functions. Which are the four functions? Thinking, feeling, sensing, moving. Consciousness is mixed with function. Consciousness is mixed with function. Now you can think mechanically, then are you adding to the sand or you're adding to the gold? Right? If all my thoughts are just mechanical thoughts, right, I'm adding to the sand. If all my emotions are just reflex, reactions, likes and dislikes, I'm adding to the sand. If we won't move into the sensitivity, but in sensitivity, if I'm only in sensitiveness, not in sensitivity, I'm adding to the sand. And in movement, if all my movements are just what do you call unconscious, what do you call mechanical movements, then I'm adding to the sand. So, can I find a way with that when I think, right? I'm looking at myself thinking. I say Rajan is thinking and I am looking. Then what am I doing? I'm extracting gold from the sand. I'm extracting gold from the sand. The only way to extract gold from the sand is self-consciousness. Is self-consciousness. The minute you're holding self-consciousness, right, you're taking consciousness away from function. Right? So, right, she was very happy to see me, right? If she was only very happy to see me, then she's identified with function. Can you get it? But if she was observing herself that I am, what do you call, Pallavi, and I'm looking at Pallavi feeling happy, then she's separating from the function of emotion. So God gives us four functions: thinking, feeling, sensing, moving. Consciousness is mixed with those functions. It is you to use those functions in life, we keep on extracting consciousness. As we extract consciousness, our level of being, our structure changes, right? And that structure can then be such a structure that it can be a receptacle for the divine. Receptacle for the divine. Can you get it? Right. No? Is it, can I? Yeah. So, how are we performing these four functions? That is consciousness. Right. Okay. Huh. So we are thankful. अभी वो बेचारा शादीशुदा है जरा बहुत नाइस बॉय बोलेंगे तो वी डोंट नो व्हाट विल हैपन some colors are attracted to intelligence. So this inner separation in every act of life, the holding of presence in every act of life, right? That brings about us. We extract gold from the every event in life. Can you get it? We extract gold from every event in life. Right. Should we go ahead? I get digressed a little. Okay, we'll go a little ahead over here. Now, these incoming impulses are made of triads of tamas, rajas, sattva. They meet an identical memory pattern. Now, this word which he has used, identical. It's a beautiful word. It took me a long time to figure out what he meant. So even if I ask you what he meant and you don't know, it's okay, right? It's okay, but I'm going to ask you. It is not a part of the memory pattern. The identical is not a part of the memory pattern. What is the meaning of the word identical? The identical. And here you'll understand. See, memory is created. Maybe it had a beginning. Maybe 1,000 years ago, we don't know. Right? But it had a beginning. Identical does not have a beginning or ending. What could it mean? Now, I'll give you a, what do you call, hint, what they call, a hint to the riddle. The Shastras say there are 5 kinds of tanmatra. Right? The desire to hear is the shabda tanmatra. The desire to feel is the sparshas tanmatra. The desire to see is the what do you call? The agni tanmatra. Can you understand what I'm trying to say? Right? The desire to taste is the apas, water tanmatra. And the desire to smell is the earth tanmatra. And I've given you. So life can come to us in these 5 forms. Life comes to us in these 5 forms. When you understand this, it's really beautiful. Try to. What does he mean by the word identical? What does he mean by the word identical?
Hello.
Agni is actually Roop Tanmatra. I was looking for the word, right? Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, huh? What do you say? Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa and Gandha. Rasa and Gandha. Rasa and Gandha. Right. See, a child is born, do we teach the child to hear? It is inbuilt in the child. Get it? When the child is 9-10 months, the father catches the hand of the child and teaches him to walk. Right? But he does not have to teach his child how to hear. He does not have to teach his child how to use the eyes. How to use the eyes. He does not have to teach his child how to feel things. If you put something hot, the child will automatically take his, hand away. Can you see? Right? And if there's something wrong in the taste, the child will vomit it out. Can you see? Right? And childs have a very keen sense of smell. They can smell the aura of a person. Children have a very keen sense of smell. They can smell the aura of a person. What is the meaning of the word identical? Identical.
મારી અંદર જે તન્માત્ર હું ફીલ કરવા માંગીશ એ જ વસ્તુ હું અટ્રેક્ટ કરીશ.
So I'm looking at him. He is a general composite of 5 tanmatras. Whenever I'm looking, even if I'm looking with my eyes and seeing form, it is not a pure tanmatra which is coming in. It is a general composite. It is a general composite. Right? It's called the universal. The universal. But within the eye has the capacity to see. So the Rupa Tanmatra lies within me. The capacity to see lies within me. It recognizes that I can see him. The ear recognizes that I can hear him. I don't know if I'm coming across with this. So this recognition is called identical. It does not come with memory. It is not a part of memory. The pattern first recognizes, is this sound? Is this form? Is this taste? Is this smell? What is it? The identical means the pattern recognizes itself. Consciousness recognizes itself as consciousness. This is the beauty of this. It is inborn in the soul. It is not a part of memory. Am I coming across with this? Please ask in the mic.
This is what we call structure of acceptance.
No, structure of acceptance is the
This is
ratio of tamas, rajas, sattva.
Okay,
It is not this.
it is not this
The memory patterns are structure of
acceptance.
The identical is that first it recognizes.
Okay,
First it recognizes. Okay, this is called sound. This is called form. This is called taste. This is called touch. Can you understand?
Okay.
There is an inner recognition, and that inner recognition is built in the soul. It is not a part of memory.
okay,
The soul comes with these properties.
okay.
The child does not have to be taught this. Can you understand?
Okay.
So, I give that famous story, which I keep on repeating that story. Maybe you will get a idea of. So the tanmatra inside recognizes the tanmatra outside. This is the meaning of, he has put identical memory pattern. Can you see? There is first a recognition. So, where does the feeling come from? Does the feeling come from outside or does the feeling come from inside? See, I'll repeat my story. Many of you have heard my story, right? But it's something in the way in which the teacher teaches you. I was asking this question for a long time to Mr. Tavaria. And Mr. Tavaria had this very, what do you call, I won't say bad habit, but this very, what do you call, humorous habit of changing the subject. So he would ask me that, what do you do in the stock market today, and what happened today, and why didn't you buy Reliance? You should have bought this, right? Etc. So at that time, this was my first, what do you call, introduction to Yog Nidra. And I was progressing. He was teaching me how to go deeper into Yog Nidra. And he says, you ask the question in the dream. So in the dream, there's a waterfall. There's a waterfall. And is this waterfall real? So I'm saying in the dream, this waterfall is not real. This is a dream. He says, put your hand in it. Is the feeling of wet being real? So I said, yes, the feeling of wet is real, even though the water is false. Can you understand what I'm trying to say? Right? So there is a waterfall, the inner tanmatra recognizes the waterfall, and the feeling of wetness does not come from going in the waterfall. The feeling of wetness comes from within. This identical memory pattern. I don't know if I've been able to explain this. Can you understand? Right? Huh? Mike.
So is it like it is creating a copy of the same
It
thing?
recognizes itself.
Okay.
The tanmatra which comes from outside is Shakti.
Okay.
And the tanmatra which is inside wanting to experience is Shiva. So Shiva recognizes Shakti as a part of himself. As a part of himself. This is the beauty of the Indian system. They have gone so deep into this. The Indian Darshan Shastra. They've gone so deep into this. The inner tanmatra recognizes the outer tanmatra. The experience does not come from outside. The experience comes from the inner, from within. So, then we have what is called memory pattern. Right? And that memory pattern, it decodes in a certain way. It's not yet decoded. There is no I involved. There is no I experience involved in this. But it sort of matches that, okay, this level of heat is okay, this level of this is okay, and it sort of matches, and there is a like-dislike, attached to it, and it is together with the incoming impulse and the memory pattern meeting, and they meet in the medium of the manas. They meet in the medium of the manas. Three things come together. Now, manas, we'll talk about the manas in the evening talk. What is the manas, right? It is an excellent artist. It is an excellent artist. And it creates something called a thought form. It creates something called a thought form. Can you draw this? Yeah. draw the brain and where it creates and all that. So. So incoming impulses travel up through Ida and Pingla and they meet the identical memory pattern where? Over here at Taluka. Taluka you can say is medulla oblongata. Medulla oblongata. Right? And they meet in a medium. The medium is the astral brain called the manas. We'll take the manas in the evening, what it means actually. And they don't form a thought, they form a thought form. Thought form. Now let us divide the mind into two parts. The verbal mind and the non-verbal mind. The verbal mind and the non-verbal mind. Where do we live our whole lives? In the verbal mind. Can we pause the verbal mind and move into the non-verbal mind? No words. Then how would we, in the non-verbal mind, how would we see those thoughts which become language in the verbal mind? Which become language in the verbal mind. We would see them in the form of images. Very good. Right? It's very deep how those images are created. I hope I can have time to explain to you if you're interested in all this, right? How the manas draws those images, how it creates those images. Right? Now, these thought forms, and it is my sincere best wishes, my sincere desire that your practices at least lead you from the verbal mind to the non-verbal mind, where you're able to see all this, to be able to see all this. You leave the words behind, you leave language behind, right? Behind every thought is a thought form. Behind every thought is a thought form. Right? Now, these thought forms are made of many things. I won't go into it. But supposing, I put my hand in water and there's a dislike. Because, so the memory pattern, it, decodes the dislike. Decodes the dislike. That dislike will come to me in some form, right? It could come as, pointed arrows in a certain direction, right? And the object which I am seeing will take on a form like a negative. Now supposing that is a pattern of dislike, so within that pattern of dislike, the object I am seeing, Mr. Bhagwati, right? I don't dislike him definitely, but right? But his negative will be there, right? Or it could be I am looking something at I'm feeling dislike, and there is a negative pattern involved. Can you show a photo of a negative? Can you see? Just can you come? Just bring it down a little. No. There, one down. Yeah. Right. No, but where's the negative of this? Where's the negative of this? This is the positive. Okay, so now there is Mr. Tavaria has a kind of mathematics over here. I'll just explain it. Don't go into the mathematics. We don't want to go into it. But he says 30,000 impulses come into the what do you call manas every second. Every second. Out of those 30,000, 10,000 go to one place, 10,000 go to another place, right? And 10,000 hit the manas. Now the impulses which are coming in are electronic matter. The manas is molecular matter. The manas, even though it is hit by 10,000 impulses, does not have the capacity to process 10,000 impulses. Out of these, it will choose only 120 which resonate with the memory patterns. That is, the memory pattern and the incoming impulse will meet in the manas, and both will form one resonance. They will match through resonance. So supposing I'm doing Omkar in a sort of mandir which has a round circular dome or something. So so that that is coming is the identical memory pattern. My saying Om is the incoming impulse, and they are both resonating with each other. They will catch each other's structure. They say, okay, here the tamas is same, rajas is same, sattva is same. Let's match together and make one wave out of this. And out of that vibration, the manas, which is an artist, will create a form. And that is a thought form. It will create 120 thought forms per second. 10,000 minus 120, which the manas does not create, will flow out into an area in the brain which Mr. Tavaria calls as the silent area or the Bindu chakra. Right? Is this getting clear? You all look little tired now, right? Okay. See, this is the... Now let us just take an example. I meet him and I have a thought that I am better than him, I am more intelligent than him, and what a good boy am I, right? I have that thought within me. So it is a feeling of self-importance. The feeling of self-importance. Right? Feeling of self-importance has a universal pattern. A universal pattern, which is common to everybody. It is not a part of individual mind. It is a part of universal mind. Right? So it has a universal pattern. Let us call it as Narcissus. Can you show them? This is the original pattern. Right? So Narcissus was running behind his girlfriend, and his girlfriend was so beautiful. Right? And he had fallen in love with his girlfriend. And on the way, he stumbled upon a pond. And he saw his own reflection in the pond, and he forgot the girlfriend and fell in love with his own reflection. Right? He fell in love with his own reflection. Somebody says, right, I went to visit the Taj Mahal. So Taj Mahal is the girlfriend, right? And so we should be falling in love with the girlfriend. What a beautiful Taj Mahal, and where did you visit and what did you see? Instead of that, we say, I visited 2 years ago. Can you understand what, right? So instead of falling in love with the girlfriend, we have fallen in love with our own reflection, right? This is the narcissist syndrome. Gurdjieff calls it as self-love, right? Gurdjieff calls it, we don't love others, we only love ourselves. We have fallen in love with our own reflection, right? So the memory pattern will recognize what is coming in the incoming impulse according to past memory, right? And it will create a thought form out of a universal pattern. It will create a thought form. So we can just, in simple language, make this a thought form of an ego, right? I'm egoistic, right? It's not the exact one, but right. And it will create a thought form, something like this, a negative, something like this. Of course, in that there will be different lines and all expressing my egoism. Everything should be pointing towards me. I am more important than everything, right? And 120 of these thought forms are created every second. Every second. And that is the beauty of three-step rhythmic breathing. As we practice three-step rhythmic breathing, this, what do you call, habit of the manas to draw 120 pictures every second, it slows down to 60 per minute, right? And that is when it allows, what do you call, the possibility of us moving into consciousness, right? Now, these 120 thought forms travel across the brain like this. They travel across the top of the brain like this. And this is the screen of the computer. Here, Mr. Tavaria says there are 4 centers called IESM. IESM. I is intellectual or sattva. Intellectual is sattva. E is emotional or rajas. S is instinct moving, but he is given the name sex. Tamas. Right? Yeah, please. Mike. Can you give him the mic?
Hello. Yeah. Somebody speaking to me is also an incoming impulse.
Yeah. We take it as an incoming impulse. Okay. Let's say you insult me. Right? You react on me, you give me a few things. Right? It is now, if I react, the identical memory pattern has translated it into one picture. Right? And I may feel that somebody is attacking me with arrows, or there may be a kind of picture over there, which is called a thought form. Right? And that thought form comes into the IESM centers. What happens in the IESM centers?
Getting color.
Huh?
Negative is getting color.
Yeah, it is decoded over there. It is decoded over there. But the first thing which happens in the IESM center is what? The first thing. What is the first thing which happens? We have still not left the universal mind. We are still in universal mind. What is absent in the thought form?
Manas.
What is absent in the thought form?
Language.
The feeling of I. The feeling of I. I have not yet said that Bhagavati has irritated me. There is no I as yet. This thought form is still a part of universal mind. It has not yet become individual mind. There is no I involved. Individual mind means I gets involved. Okay. Can you understand what I'm trying to say? So the thought form comes here. First, the E acts upon it. What acts upon it? E. He is insulting me. Can you see? He is insulting me. Even before the E acts upon it, the S acts upon it. Let us take S as excitement. Let us take S as excitement and compulsion. Right? So that is why he has given it the name sex, because of excitement. Right? So what does his insult do? The first thing what it does, it excites me. It excites me. Then it goes to E. From S it goes to E. And E says, he is doing this to me. This is the moment it impresses upon the mind. Till then there is no impression on the mind. All this is happening in the non-verbal mind. This, can you get what I'm... It is after the impression has happened and I say, oh, he has done this to me, right? I react on that, right? That is where it impresses upon the mind. Now there are 120 thoughts, thought forms, not thoughts. And they come to the IESM center and they are decoded over there. All 120 are decoded. This is all happening in microseconds. But the physical brain of man is able to only process 16 per second. This is the speed of the working of the brain. So out of those 120, how many are able to impress upon the mind? 16. At our level of awareness, we may be aware of 1 or 2. So if he is insulting me, at the same time he is insulting me, right? That will come in as a thought form, but I may not be aware of it. I am totally engrossed in. That does not mean it has not come in. Can you understand? If somebody hypnotizes me, I'll know that from the side he was also insulting me. Right? Because in hypnosis, suddenly all this opens up. Right? So in deep hypnosis, I may be able to... So 16 impress upon the mind, and if we are lucky, we are aware of 1 or 2, which form into words. Right? And I say, he insulted me. The I comes in over there. Right? What happens to the 120 minus what happens? Right? What happens to what she said? They go out of the Ajna Chakra as exhaust. Like the car has an exhaust, thinking as an exhaust. They go out as thought forms, decoded thought forms. And they can become somebody else's thoughts. Right? And we sometimes feel this very easily, in the sense that we are alone in the room and somebody with deep anger comes in the room and suddenly we feel anger rising within us. We have caught his thought forms, right? And we have started thinking his thought forms. So, now Mr. Tavaria is a ratio over here. It's called 2482. Yeah, please.
Thought forms, what we form like 120 per second, those are formed because of the structure of this our being, right?
The meeting of the identical memory pattern and
the incoming
impulse in the matter of the
manas.
In the matter of the manas.
If 120 per second they are forming, in the sense is it not like already the individual mind, sir?
Where is the I?
That's what the
Individual
question.
means I. I have to say, he did this to me. Out of all those, I have chosen only one. So it has not yet become impression food according to Guruji. The minute it becomes an impression, there has to be an I. This is happening to me. It is happening to me. Right? My structure has conditioned it. The personality, the personality has not yet conditioned it.
Okay.
Or we can, like you say, and many times the same thought has come to me, but what is he trying to say? Right? But we can say that there is an in-between between the individual mind and the universal mind. But it has not yet become individual. To become individual, there has to be a feeling of I. This is happening to me. The experience has to boil down to the I. To the I. Right?
One more question related to this 30,000 thought incoming impulses comes. How does the priority happens? Like 10,000 somewhere goes, 10,000 somewhere goes. So it based on the structure of our structure, but which 10,000 has to select? How do it prioritize? I want to, which 10,000 has to go where? How does this happen? And who decides it?
So 10,000 goes into upkeep of memory. So that memory pattern with desire, where does it get the energy to be stored in the deep memory? From 10,000 incoming impulses. Can you understand? That becomes Kundalini Shakti. That becomes Kundalini Shakti, right? 10,000. So 10,000 goes for maintenance of the body. 10,000 goes for? Huh? Upkeep of memory patterns and upkeep of the body-brain system. So all the functions of the body-brain system can run. And 10,000 hits the manas, right? Out of 10,000, what do you call, identical memory patterns won't come out. How many will come out? 120. So out of 10,000, only 120 can meet their lover. Can you get it? And how will they meet the lover? Both parts of the plate will come together. The broken plate, right? Incoming impulse meets identical memory pattern. And they will form a, what do you call? Thought form. That thought form is still in the non-verbal mind. It is still in the non-verbal mind. We have not yet said inside, this is happening to me. But later, as we go deeper, there is a sensitivity of the thought form. There's a feeling of the thought form, because feeling is faster than language. Sensitivity is also faster than language. So we can go there. But at present, we are just saying that the feeling of I has not yet come in.
Sorry, but I'm little confused. This 10,000, like based on what they decide, like it has to go to the Kundalini or memory pattern, it has to go to the body. So where that part has been decided, that I want to know.
No, that is universal mind. It is
Okay.
pre-programmed.
Okay,
That is Mr. Tavaria has written it, so we don't go into that.
okay, okay.
But the beauty of that is that when I release the pattern,
That energy.
then that energy becomes mine.
Mind.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's put it in another way. We'll make it easy. You know, when I was in college, I used to smoke. And I used to smoke on the balcony and all, so nobody would see me smoking. I was 17 years old. So I was living with my grandfather. So on my 18th birthday, my grandfather came in the room early in the morning at 5 o'clock, woke me up, and he put a cigarette in my mouth. And he had a new, beautiful Ronson lighter, and he lit it with the lighter. And he says that now you're 18. I'm the oldest person in the family, right? And you can now smoke in front of everyone. No need to smoke in the balcony, right? If you can smoke in front of me, you're allowed to smoke in front of everyone. So that was a beautiful thing. So I started smoking in front of everyone. And my father was living in Verawal. I was in Bombay, in college in Bombay. So my father got to know this. And so he came to Mumbai for some work or something, I don't remember. And he told me that it's okay to smoke. I'm not against your smoking, but just now you're smoking with your father's money. You're not earning any money. Can you understand? Right? If you want to smoke, you should smoke with your own earned money. So then he got angry on my grandfather that you're allowing him to smoke. Anyway, it so happened that my, mother's mother heard about this, that my father had come. And in those days, one packet of good cigarettes, Dunhill, would cost 10 rupees. Right? So then she arranged that every month I would get 300 rupees for my cigarettes. Right? So it allowed me to keep smoking. Now, where does all our energy come from? Huh? Huh? She used to give me. She was a rich lady. The old lady was very rich. नहीं मैं नहीं समझता. Anyway, spirituality is the same. Spirituality is the same. If you want to hold consciousness, if you want to move into higher states of attention like dharana, right? You have to use energy. To hold consciousness, you need energy, right? To hold the pause, you need, we're going to go to the pause in the afternoon. To hold the pause, you need energy, right? To practice vairagya, you need energy. To do all your practices in the morning, you need energy, right? All our energy comes from the food we eat. That is nature's energy. That is the Father's energy, right? You cannot use that for any purpose which goes against nature. Nature is not interested in meditation. Can you understand? Nature is interested, from one child you become 20 children. Can you understand? You produce 20 children, right? So nature is not interested in consciousness. Nature is not interested in So nature does not like it if we use her energy for our practices. Can you get it? She says you go and earn your own energy. Don't take energy from me. Don't take energy from me. Right? Like my father said, you can't smoke with my money. You smoke with your own money if you want to smoke. Right? Right? So how do we earn money for our practices? Supposing I want to, and it will be very difficult. If I hold consciousness with nature's energy, she's not going to help me over there. She's going to send all kinds of apsaras to get rid of me, get me out of the situation. Can you understand? All kinds of obstacles will come and everything will come. So we have to earn our own energy. And that energy is those 10,000 locked in those identical memory patterns. That is that 10,000 incoming impulses, the energy which gets locked in the identical memory patterns. When I look at a pattern of anger, I observe that pattern of anger, right? The pattern dies and the energy which is locked inside gets free. That is not nature. It is nature's energy in a way, but I have earned it from my own effort. I have not eaten food and got it. Can you get it? I have earned it from now that energy. With that energy, when I start holding consciousness inside, when I start practicing meditation, when I start holding presence, when I practice double arrowed attention with that energy, then it will be very easy. Obstacles won't come. Then nature won't send obstacles. She doesn't care any longer. She won't send. So then your spiritual journey will move on a beautiful path. But if you try to use nature's energy for your spiritual journey, she'll keep on sending all kinds of obstacles. Of course, there's some people who love it when apsaras come. We don't know, right? Right? But she'll send obstacles, right? So we have to earn our own money and use that money for our inner journey, right? We can't take nature's energy. I'll stop over here, right? Okay. In the afternoon, please come with a bed sheet or whatever you want to cover yourself. And we'll do the Yoga Nidra, what you call lying down. And then we'll start the afternoon talk. Okay. Thank you.